All right. Welcome back to the next installment of the Life Longevity Zone podcast. Glad to have you with us. We're going to learn a lot about health today. My health. This special episode about my guts.
This might be your favorite episode.
We'll see. Remains to be seen. So, welcome to everyone who's listening, joining. Glad to have you with us. Welcome to my partner, my co-host, Justyna.
Hi, everyone.
Hello. How are you?
Very well.
Very
How
well.
are you?
I'm in the zone. I'm excited about today's episode because it's a long time coming for a number of reasons. What are we talking about today primarily?
We are talking about your poop.
Right, there it is. Okay, folks, that's your signal to tune out and stop playing now. But we do appreciate you having listened at least this far to the first 2 minutes. We're going to talk about my stool, my poo, my bowel movements. No, we're talking actually about my gut health, my gut biome. I'm the guinea pig here. You are the scientist.
Mm.
So we talked about it last episode a bit. We alluded to the fact that
That Todd has got psoriasis.
Yes, that I've got psoriasis, but also that we took a test. Do you want to explain the test that I took?
Yes. So we searched long and far.
Yeah.
Long and far for a very...
Far and wide.
Far and wide, thank you, for a test that actually specializes in the areas that we really wanted to focus on. So it was the gut microbiome. So we wanted to look at the bacteria, the good guys, the bad guys. We wanted to see some of the fungi. We wanted to see viruses. We also wanted to see the overall health. We wanted to look at the gut permeability, stress levels affecting Todd's gut, etc. So it was a fairly wide range of what we wanted to see and test for.
The good guys, the bad guys, and the fun guys. So essentially, just to give a little backstory, if you're suffering from psoriasis like I am now, about 20 years ago or so, I started noticing these kind of scaly patches on my skin, particularly started around my scalp area and then in some other areas that weren't as pleasant, let's say, to have, legs and other places. And I wasn't sure what was going on with that. I didn't even know what it was other than scaly patches. I remember putting all kinds of creams and ointments on it, sort of initially just thinking like, ooh, that's a weird thing. I hope it goes away. I was living in Eastern Europe. I finally went to a dermatologist who was sort of a friend of a friend to get some explanation as to what was going on. And basically, I don't know if I said this in the last episode, but you certainly know this story. I'll just explain it to anyone who doesn't know or have skin conditions. You go to the dermatologist and they essentially go, well, yep, that's psoriasis, or yep, that's eczema. And then you kind of go, what can you do? And they go, well, here's some cortisol cream, here's some steroid cream, here's some tar shampoo, and, try not to irritate it. And then they sort of shuffle you out the door and you go, well, but what causes it? And they shrug their shoulders and go, well, we don't know. Certainly that's how it was 20 years ago for me. And I guess I was sort of at the time just satisfied with that, like in some sense, like, well, okay, I don't know. Nobody seems to know what this is. I don't like it. I don't like having it, but I'll just put this cream on it and it'll go away. Flash forward, of course, now we're in a different era. We understand that the microbiome and gut is critical to all health activity in your body and is key to all the functionality of your body. The mitochondria and everything else is affected in your nutrition, and that psoriasis is a symptom of chronic inflammation, right? So at this point, we had decided that...
Well, we had decided that we had to look into it on a deeper level. So we, at the beginning, I just wanted to kind of go back a little bit when we first met, and we started just looking at different foods that were triggering it. And I certainly had a couple of friends who also suffer from psoriasis, and it were very different triggers for them than they were for you. So it wasn't like everybody with psoriasis must avoid gluten, or everybody with psoriasis needs to avoid red wine, for instance. So it was very different.
Right.
And the other thing was that some things that we tried, they worked short term, but then it would come back.
Yeah.
So we couldn't really find rhyme or reason.
That's right. At some point, we understood that it was probably diet related. But like we said last time, I quit smoking, thinking, okay, that'll surely like put a big dent in the psoriasis, right? And I'll cut sugar. That'll be it. Then it'll be gone almost. And it did help quite a bit, obviously. I mean, I'm not as bad as some people I know as well. I don't have it like just covering my body. I don't want people to freak out and be like, oh my God, this guy's disgusting walking flaky zombie. Although, it could get there if I wasn't being more careful now. So, yeah, cutting things out of the diet, gluten, sugar, cigarette smoking, trying to reduce inflammation, bring down the cortisol levels.
We also tried cold plunging.
Right.
We tried infrared sauna.
Jesus. Yeah. Not much we haven't tried, or I haven't tried anyway for this.
Very, very little
But
left,
you put yourself on a mission to get my gut sorted out as a means of getting rid of the psoriasis at least, but also understanding what's going on with me. And because you are a bit of a scientist, you have a scientific...
Yeah, there is a scientist in me. I'm curious.
Proclivity towards
I like
science,
to know. I don't like to not understand what's going on. And, your health is most certainly very important in this household.
Right, yes. Yeah, it's my health's more important to you than it is to me sometimes. So, yeah, you have a proclivity towards the scientific measurements and things. You're the one around that likes to measure everything and get all the data in, as it were. So what did we do? What did you do, rather? So
we found this great test. We got it from gettested.com. It's called gut microbiome extra large test.
Yep. Unfortunate name.
It tested for 14 types of bacteria, good and bad. It was 4 types of yeast. It also tested for zonulin, bile acids, pH, fat, nitrogen, water content, and plenty others. It was actually fairly expensive. It was it's 278 pounds.
It's about $350 US. It's not price prohibitive, I would say, for people who really are interested, but you kind of do need to know what you're looking at. Now, I'll say one more thing, and then I'm going to let you run with it, because I just want audiences to understand that when I took this test, about 2-3 months ago?
It was in April.
In April, right. And we have been holding on to the results because we wanted to do it in the podcast, fresh and new. So Justyna's been holding on to these results for, here we are in August now.
And I was, once you get to know me, you understand that I do not like to hold anything in.
Yeah.
When I get excited, I want to bring it out immediately.
Exactly. That's how I felt on the day when I had to submit for the test. You what? Anyway, forgive those jokes. They're going to be coming fast and hard, folks. Oops. Not like on the day when I took the test. Okay. It's a bit of it. So the test itself, for those of you who don't know, is you got to take a tissue, you lay it over the toilet seat, then you go, you do your business, and then you have to take a little scooper. I had to do this. You were out of town. I had to. What did I have to fast the day before a bit? Or
no, I don't. No. You didn't have to fast.
No dairy.
There was some dietary there was a regimen.
No probiotics. Yeah. So there's a few things I couldn't eat, and I had to be ready for. So, and then I had to scoop it and stick it in a couple test tubes and screw the cap on and put it in a baggie, and then hand it to my postman and be like, "There you go, buddy. Take that."
But I think it's important to actually say, for anybody who is interested, this test was actually really good. What they provided, the information, the equipment, that was actually really well organized, and you know how you submit it, and we got the results fairly quickly as well. So from that standpoint, definitely recommended.
No, it was a high quality test, and the results came back pretty quickly. And now, where's my drum roll? I got a drum roll somewhere in here. But, give us the hit us with the. Let's see, what do we got? You're gonna have to walk me through everything because I don't know.
Well, that's the thing. You don't know. You know nothing. So brace yourself.
Oh boy. Okay, might be asking a lot of questions.
Right. So first of all, we found out that we had low levels of the beneficial flora.
All right.
And so we're talking here about lactobacillus, bifidobacterium, and those guys are super important because they produce short-chain fatty acids like butyrate. And butyrate is directly involved in making sure that the gut wall is actually really strong.
Right.
That the gut wall is strong. The other thing that it also regulates is immune responses. So here already two things that are kind of like, ooh, there could be something to it.
Because that was the other thing that was the kind of the deal was we understood, didn't mention this before, should have thought, that leaky gut was probably or possibly the kind of the reasoning behind. So we'll talk about leaky gut as we go on. But that's what you're saying now sounds like.
Well, actually, you know, because it's good to actually mention this. My original thought was that it was leaky gut.
Right.
That's it. That's what's causing it.
Right.
And we will explain what it is actually.
Explain what leaky gut is.
But the results actually showed us this and something else. So let me just go on.
All right. Got it.
Cool. Now, the second thing that stood out very quickly was that your stool had an alkaline pH. Not very alkaline, slightly alkaline, 7.2. But what you want ideally is acidic. You want it to be slightly acidic. Alkaline pH basically promotes growth of histamine-producing bacteria and slows down and almost disables the growth of the good bacteria.
Right. Okay.
So this is already kind of, we can see how, you know, the low level of the good guys and the pH already makes sense together.
Right.
It already makes sense. And in general, when you have the incorrect pH of the stool, you already see that that the microbiome is disrupted. This is a clear indicator. So even if we didn't know anything else, we already know plenty. Now, the next one is also very interesting because it showed us that you're not metabolizing correctly fat and sugar, which means that your digestive system doesn't break it as the food passes through the digestive tract correctly. So what was found in your stool was actually undigested fat and sugar. And what it means is to the body and to the gut is that the fat and sugar, the undigested bits, end up in your colon. They sit there, they ferment,
right,
and they actually feed the bad bacteria. And this is very serious.
Oh.
Yeah.
Blimey. I've got very serious guts.
There is some serious issues in there for sure.
Okay. Wow.
So that's one. The next one is you had a fairly low secretory IgA and short SIGA. Now, what it is, it's an antibody that is found usually in abundance across different parts of the body, and you find plenty of it in tears, in saliva, and also in the fluids from the gut.
Okay.
Now, low SIGA basically means that your immune system is not working correctly, because what SIGA does, it's like a bouncer. So it protects the gut, the world of what's in the gut from the world outside of the gut. So if you got the right level of SIGA, the good guys are going to go where they need to go. So the good guys, in a sense, the nutrients are going to go where they need to go, and the bad guys are actually going to be neutralized. So they won't have an opportunity to enter the bloodstream. So if we don't have that, that is a big problem. That is a big problem. The next one, and this is actually the biggest finding we had, is that your histamine levels are fairly high. Now, histamine in general is needed. It's necessary. We need histamine when we get allergic reactions, or I don't know, if we get hit by an insect. So histamine is super important. It's also involved in production of bile. So we need histamine. But when we have too much of it, we develop histamine intolerance, which means that the body cannot break down the histamine that we've got in the system. And this is a big issue. Now, looking at what we already can see, there are two possible scenarios of why our histamine is high, and it's possible that actually both of them are actually happening in the same time, right, simultaneously. So one is that we've got histamine-producing bacteria based on the fact that we know that your pH is alkaline, and the other one is that it is very possible that you've got low DAO enzyme, which is diamine oxidase. And diamine oxidase is the enzyme that actually breaks down histamine. And that happens when you've got poor immunity in your gut, and that also happens when there is a gut permeability.
Okay.
Okay? Does it make sense?
No.
No.
Completely. Yeah.
Okay, you're a little lost.
I'm screwed up. That's all I know.
No. You're in good hands here. You're in good hands.
I'm low on Siga.
Yes.
Okay.
You got high histamine.
I got high histamine.
Yeah.
And I've got alkaline stool.
Yes. That's in a nutshell.
If somebody told me that 3 days ago, I'd have been like, yeah, I don't know. But now it sounds awful.
It's not good. It's not good, but we'll be fine. You'll be fine.
You're writing all this down, right? Somewhere we're recording this. Okay. 'Cause I won't remember.
I've got it all here for you.
Yeah.
The other important bit of information is to remember that histamine is also often present in foods.
Right, yeah.
But
what
we'll
kinds
get
of
to
foods?
it. Fermented foods, aged foods, leftovers.
Right.
So in general, fresh foods don't have it.
Okay, got it.
Cool. Now, the other thing that we found, it's borderline high zonulin. And zonulin sounds a little... How does it sound? What would you, if I said you had high zonulin?
Zonulin.
Yes.
That sounds good. Welcome to the life longevity zonulin.
Well, zonulin is the protein that basically regulates the tight junctions in the gut. So if the junctions kind of loosen up, the permeability of the gut goes up. So high zonulin means that we've got permeability there. It's not very high. We've got borderline high, so it's not very bad. But there is some leaky gut, basically. That's what we are saying, ultimately. There is some leaky gut.
So
and leaky gut, let me just finish that thought. Leaky gut means that your gut is allowing food particles, bacteria, viruses into your bloodstream, which then causes havoc, in autoimmune response.
So zonulin again, what creates it? I didn't understand.
Well, zonulin is actually a protein, and that protein is in the body, and that's absolutely normal that it's in the body. Now, the levels of zonulin will, if they are too high, this means that your junctions, they basically have two big gaps, right? So zonulin needs to be there, but it needs to be in a lower level. So basically, that's what I'm saying.
So the body's producing zonulin?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
This goes from bad to worse. Surprised I'm still walking.
You're fine, and you're gonna be fine. Don't worry. So, all in all, we've got low bacterial flora, good flora. We've got alkaline pH. We've got poor digestion of fats and sugars.
Right.
We've got suppressed immunity. We got excess histamine, and we got permeable gut lining. Now,
forgot about depression.
Now, these all together,
it's coming on.
They create a perfect storm and basically immune overload.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this basically brings us to the final point, that it is not the skin that is your problem. It is not the food that you eat that is the problem. It's what's happening in your gut that is the problem. And your skin only mirrors what's happening in the gut.
Yeah.
So we have to repair your gut, replenish the good bacteria, and then see what happens. But once the gut lining is solid, we get the immunity intact, in line. We get the right gut microbiome flourishing in your gut. I'm a strong believer here that we will be able to, if not completely, get rid of psoriasis in your case, to at least really reduce it. That's my prediction.
Yeah, your goal here is to repair the gut, my gut,
correct.
And to see about doing something that science has never done before, right?
Correct.
We're going to try something completely new. Now, before we get into all that, though, let's talk about this kind of the recognition that's growing out there globally about the gut-skin connection.
I would like to ask you, actually, this is the right moment to ask you, try to estimate it, how many people globally today are affected by psoriasis?
Oh, probably loads.
How many? Just to give me
half the population.
Half of all the people?
No? Okay. People of my generation, I don't know. Okay, no, 20%.
No, it's not quite as bad.
It's not that bad?
I thought I'm going to surprise you.
You thought I was going to surprise me?
I thought I'm going to...
I don't know. It seems like everybody I know has some terrible skin.
Yeah. Well, today we've got about 125 million people globally
with
affected by psoriasis, which makes it approximately 2 to 3% of the. Basically, 2 to 3 people per 100 have psoriasis.
How did I get lucky? Okay.
Lottery.
Yeah, I think poor diet as a child. I recently told you essentially, and we talked about it before, but I know that. Americans of my generation, particularly, we watched a pretty good documentary yesterday, didn't we? Started watching on Netflix. I forgot the name of it, but we'll think about it. Where they took the twins.
Yeah, the twin study.
The twin studies and stuff, and basically they call it the SAD diet, the standard American diet, and that's what I grew up on. A lot of fast food, a lot of frozen dinners. Low nutrient meals with high fat, high sugar content, bad fats and seed oils and all the crap. So I wasn't doing my gut biome and dairy, milk, whole milk and stuff. I wasn't doing my guts any favors throughout childhood. So I mean, this is where it was, and I wasn't breastfed. I'll say that straight up. Was not breastfed as a child. I got on formula because that's what they sold mothers of my generation. Why breastfeed when you can just scoop it out of this tub and easy, shake it, mix it in a bottle. So I was fed formula. Never got any of that good microbiome stuff passed on and all this.
I also think that it was for you additional factor here was the fact that you moved from LA to a very different climate, and when you make such a big move, and a permanent move, it actually affects your microbiome as well. So for a little while, that microbiome gets weakened, right? Because you get very different temperature. The environment is completely different. Foods are changed. Everything changed, and so you were kind of vulnerable at that point. And had you known exactly what was going on, you would have understood immediately, okay, I need to make sure that I feed myself the right foods. Right. And I don't know that was necessarily a priority when you just move, halfway across the world and it was trying to establish yourself in a new place.
Yeah, it was difficult, I think, to even understand the foods that were available, although I started eating better probably So I made a move, for those that are curious now, that from Southern California, where I grew up, which is very dry, obviously, and sunny and warm, arid climate, desert climate, to Eastern Europe, Czech Republic. I ended up in for a decade, and that was a big switch as well. And that's when, after about 5, 6, 7 years of living there, the psoriasis started to present itself. Maybe after 5 years, which was ultimately now in retrospect just a complete breakdown of my immune system and my body's ability to cope with its environment and what it was being fed. So back to the kind of global situation though, because now it's really come to the fore. These limitations of science, doctors and scientists to understand up until the gut biome started really becoming studied, and chronic inflammation became the key indicator for not just skin conditions, but cancer, Alzheimer's disease, a whole host of ailments that we all suffer from as a species at this point. Yeah,
it is. I have to say though, upsetting, because there is abundance of knowledge, ton of research, but it just takes so long for this to actually penetrate the medical system.
Yeah.
And what do we do with this information? You said you saw a dermatologist 20 years ago.
Yeah.
I would, bet good money that if you went to see a dermatologist today, they would give you the exact same answer to how to deal with this.
I went and saw an old school dermatologist about a year or two ago. I thought I might have skin cancer because some of the psoriasis patches, I was exposed to a lot of sun as a kid growing up in California and southern Florida. So, skin cancer, and both my parents have had it, and a lot of people I know, melanomas and things on the noses and ears and different backs and shoulders. And you kind of, at my age, I'm wary, I'm looking out. But so I had an odd patch. And so I went to him and I said, this looks different. And he took a quick look. It was a psoriasis. I was like, no, man, you remember, I told you. He's like, no, that's skin cancer. That's not psoriasis. He goes, it's psoriasis. I've been doing this for 50 years. But at the same time, that's all he could say. Like, okay, great, you can recognize psoriasis. But when I said, well, how do I get rid of it? And he goes, here's a cortisol cream, Same. So, yeah, for sure.
And the crazy thing is that it's not just a few patches here and there. They get worse with age. They get worse with age, and they can, 30% of people who get psoriasis, later in life, they get psoriatic arthritis. That's very painful, very degenerative. Yeah. Now, treating this, that's something that will be very difficult.
Yeah.
And nobody talks about it, really. Nobody talks about that, yes, this is now psoriasis, but this is going to get worse. This is raising your risk of developing, a cardiovascular disease. This raises your, probability of developing diabetes, because this is affecting your immunity.
This seems like the kind of thing people just put down to old age. Yeah, you got that because you're old.
Yeah, as an old man, he's got weird patches on his face.
And he's got arthritis and all that stuff. Now we see that it's preventable. So, but psoriasis, if you're getting it, when I was getting it at like 35 or whatever, it's like, wait a minute, I'm a young dude. Why am I getting, but for them just to shrug their shoulders and go, we don't know. Okay. So that's our little speech, but there's a ton of great information available out there, and certainly this is where we get our information is, we just go out into the world and we listen and watch and read, and that's how we got tuned in all this, which really was a godsend and a blessing at the end of the day, because now I have, as we say, I've become the key indicator around the house as to what's healthy and what's not, or what's good for you, what's not, to some degree.
Exactly. And I think I said it in the previous episode, that we share the same environment, we share the same lifestyle, we share the same foods. Our microbiomes are not that far off. I might have maybe my permeability is better than yours,
right.
But the microbiome I've got is probably fairly similar to yours. I'm just not demonstrating symptoms yet.
Oh, I can't believe you have better permeability than I do.
Well, it's possible. It's just my guess. It's just my guess.
You probably do.
Just another thing that I'm better at.
Makes you feel weak. One more thing you're better at than me. Gut permeability. Jeez. I don't want anyone out there in the world to feel like I feel now, that you've done anything wrong, that there's something wrong with you, or that you're gross, or that you're sickly or anything like that. We're going to be bold here. We're going to be brash. we're going to be brave. Justyna will sort me out, and then we're going to keep everybody abreast of this, step by step, the progress, right? We'll record everything we do as much as we can. We'll keep coming back to the podcast and keep checking in. So tell people what's the plan?
So the plan is basically to rebuild your flora, heal the lining, and lower your histamine levels.
Right.
Now,
the trifecta.
Exactly. So now how are we going to do it? That's the most difficult part, because that's going to be a long process. It's, you can't, certain things you have to do like in waves. Because with the bacteria, the problem is that certain bacteria, the bad guys especially, they like kind of the same stuff as the good ones.
Right.
So you have to be really careful what you feed them to make sure that you're feeding just the right guys. So then the bad microflora actually dies off, and you get rid of it. So this is very complex. So ultimately what it's going to mean is going to be about 12 weeks protocol. It's going to be absolutely non-negotiable, which is going to be, and also I would like to say that I'm going to follow it as well, because like I said, your gut is probably very similar to mine. So I want to do the same thing for myself. So this is going to be difficult on a social level. Like if we want to go out and, have a drink with our friends and then dinner, for 3 months, we'll be available for walks.
Right.
That's what we're going to be available for. So we're going to really have to kind of...
our own meal.
Exactly. We bring our own stuff, right? So now the difficult part as well, and this is actually where your skills are going to come really handy, is what are we going to eat? Because we're going to have to really limit what we eat. First of all, it has to be low histamine. And low histamine means, amongst many things, means that we have to eat everything fresh. So there will be no eating of leftovers, for instance.
Right.
If we're cooking a soup, it has to be eaten today or frozen immediately. So it's going to be very difficult kind of logistically. But also, we're going to have to look at what's actually allowed, because maybe I would just give you a list of what's not allowed. That's going to be more fun. All the things that you love that you won't be able to have for 3 months.
Yeah. Okay.
How about that?
I've already, By the way, I'm on a very strict diet. We're already limited around here on what we eat.
Yeah.
We've tried for a long time to cut things out. And I will say this, that I know that if I do indulge in even a piece of sourdough bread or a slice of cheese, boom, have a beer, boom, like I'll flare up.
Yeah.
So I've had to cut a lot of good stuff, the fun foods. But here we go. Justyna's going to ruin my day now.
So first of all...
Don't say donuts. Don't say donuts. Donuts are already off the menu.
Well, fermented and aged foods. So we're looking at no Parmesan, no cheddar, no cheese in general. Cheese is out.
All right.
Yogurt and kefir are out.
Yeah.
Not because they are bad in principle, they are great, but we need to heal your gut first. Once the gut lining is healed...
So no dairy.
Yeah, basically it will be no dairy. So
cheese and kefir.
Everything else, and we will be able to reintroduce it, but we need to do our maintenance.
I just want to qualify for people that we don't eat a lot of cheese anyway. We don't drink whole milk or cow's milk and stuff, but we do have the bit of kefir and Greek yogurt in the house, which is,
one of your favorite things, right?
Well, I enjoy, but I know it's not good for me currently.
Yeah. So in general, nothing fermented. So for me, sad news, no pickles. You know how much I love
nothing
my pickles.
fermented. No sauerkraut. No kimchi.
Nothing. All out of the window for 3 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
We like our fermented foods.
Oh, we
around
do,
here.
and they are so good for you.
Make my own pickles.
He does, and they're delicious.
They're crispy and cold.
Cured, aged, or smoked meats and fish are out the window.
Don't eat a lot of those anymore.
Actually, canned tuna qualifies. So we can have if we buy a fresh tuna steak, then we can have that. But no canned tuna.
Okay.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
No shrimp for you.
I haven't had a shrimp in a long time.
It's true. No salami, pepperoni, prosciutto. Not that we actually eat any of that.
We don't eat processed meats.
We don't really eat, but it's just on the list. No alcohol at all, especially red wine.
Really?
Yeah, our favorite red wine. Not that we drink a lot of it, but again, when we drink, it will be usually our favorite red wine.
Yeah.
We like our red wine. Then what else? Certain vegetables, so like nightshades, we will have to kind of put on
tomatoes, eggplant, peppers,
spinach, avocados. As well.
Spinach and avocados?
Spinach and avocados.
No avocado?
No avocado.
It's a superfood.
I know. There are superfoods here on the list. It's crazy. That's what I was saying. You are going to have to use all your imagination and skills to work with what we are left with. Basically.
Kale and buckwheat.
Pretty much. Certain fruit as well. That's going to have to be very limited, and you're going to have to stay away from strawberries, bananas, pineapple.
Sweet fruits.
Yeah, no lemons. That's going to be sad.
Acidic.
Yeah. And dried fruits. So no raisins.
Well, okay.
Yeah. No figs. No dates.
Mango.
Exactly. Yeah.
Nitrates in there, huh?
No, basically they trigger histamine release. They trigger histamine release. That's what they do. And the worst one, there will be no chocolate.
You what?
No chocolate. And Todd loves his 80. No, I'm not. Todd loves his 85% chocolate.
And Justyna can't stand that I like my chocolate, and so she's trying to sneak it onto the list.
No, I'm not that evil. Not that evil. Certain nuts like walnuts, cashews, they'll have to go out the window.
Really? Those are walnuts.
I know.
Those are good for you.
I know they're good, and
I'm
not saying that these are bad foods. It's just for the time being, when we are looking at low histamine diet,
triggers histamine.
It has to be kind of parked for now. The other thing is, Todd loves to cook our soups, and his soups are out of this world. I'm the biggest fan of his soups, but slow cooking is going to be out for 3 months. You can cook it normally, but slow cooking is out.
I'm expecting our new crock pot lid to arrive any minute now.
Before we start the diet, we need to go to town with the soups and
slow cooked stews. Okay.
Yeah, and the other thing that I kind of came across, it surprised me a little bit. I wasn't really aware of it. Is it's certain foods that are, again, generally very much recognized as healthy, but they're fibers, and I'm the one that always talks about how much we need fiber in our life. But fibers for someone who's got impaired digestion mean ultimately that those fibers get not properly fermented, and then they basically, by bacteria, what happens, they end up sitting in the colon and just fermenting by themselves, and that is a huge problem, because then that actually makes the gut permeability even worse, because those junctions are already a little loose, they will become more and more loose. Right. So
that's what makes people gassy when they have a lot of high fiber, huh?
Exactly. Yes, pretty much. Yeah. So we are looking here. So this group of foods are called FODMAP. And it stands for fermentable oligosaccharides, disaccharides, monosaccharides, and polyoils. So we're looking here at stuff like wheat, rye, onions, garlic. Yogurt I mentioned in the previous group. No apples, no pears, no honey. Oh, sad Todd. No mushrooms. Happy Justyna. Cauliflower. Sugar-free gum is also out the window, because that's the polyols like mannitol and sorbitol, etc.
Xylitol. I take gum with xylitol.
You can't have it.
Xylitol's not on that list. You're just making up stuff. Okay.
Todd Kramer, you're gonna have to sign some kind of, I don't know, official document where you're committed.
I am committed.
Okay.
I'm committed.
I can give you a list of things that you will be able to eat.
Let's go for it.
Right?
What do you got?
So I group them like in categories. So proteins. So fresh chicken breast, cooked immediately. So like I say, no leftovers. This is going to be challenging.
Eaten immediately.
You cook it and you eat it immediately. You can't sit and wait. Right. Because the longer it sits, the more histamine is producing.
We don't have a lot of leftovers around. So, okay.
Yeah, cool. Fresh white fish. So like cod, haddock, frozen immediately are also, after catch, are also okay, right? Eggs are still fine, but they need to be very fresh. From the vegetable lines, we got zucchinis, carrots, lettuce, cucumbers, pumpkin, watercress, pak choi, and such. Fruit, blueberries. Happy with blueberries, right?
Okay.
Pears, Pears are okay as well,
Right.
but this is again very small quantities. So with fruit, we're gonna have to just be very careful. We are good with grains and starches like basmati rice, jasmine rice, quinoa, oats, polenta, brown rice, wild rice.
Wow.
So there is a selection. There's a decent
I'll be eating
selection
a
there.
lot more rice, I guess. Than
You'll be
I
happy.
usually
Yeah,
do.
exactly. You'll be happy
What
to
about
know
beef?
beef.
Yeah, beef.
As long as
Grass-fed.
it's fresh,
Grass-fed.
freshly cooked.
Okay.
So we like, yeah, if it's fresh, like a beef steak, that would be okay.
Mhm. Okay.
You'll be happy to know that olive oil, as much as you like,
Right.
that definitely stays on the menu. Coconut oil, flaxseed oil, etc. So that's all good. We can still have our basil seeds.
Yay.
Chia seeds, flax seeds, hemp seeds, sunflower seeds, sesame seeds.
Okay, a lot of seeds.
That's
That's
a
good.
good seeds, yeah. And then herbs, so it's parsley, basil, coriander, dill. Yeah, and
Okay.
from beverages, that will be chamomile tea, for instance. All the herbal teas. Herbal teas are good for us. Ginger teas. I don't know, water with cucumber slices if we want to really go a little wild.
Get nuts, huh? Special occasion.
Yeah. So like I said, the list is limited. It's not
Yeah.
crazy limited, but it is limited nonetheless. And this is where your talents are going to be very important, going to play a huge role here, because you'll be able to create wonderful menus for us and also for those who would like to follow what we're doing whilst healing your gut.
What about the targeted supplementation?
There will be supplements. I'm still working on the supplements, so I don't have the full list confirmed yet. But there will be supplements, and they will be introduced at appropriate times. So stay tuned for that.
Okay, so again, this is a little bit of an experiment, folks. We're going to try to reset. I don't think it's ever been done before. We have to do a little research, see if anyone's ever attempted this. And we're going to keep everybody abreast of the situation, and maybe we can even discover a little bit how anyone can, with courage and 3 months to spare, but it's worth it. I mean, totally worth it. If I can get rid of psoriasis, man, in my life, just knock it out and build up the gut biome, then we want to pass this along to people and make this available to people who might be suffering. What about probiotics?
Probiotics, yes, but they will be introduced later at the later.
That's part of the phasing,
yeah,
right.
it's part of the phasing.
Okay.
I also think it is very important to point out the psychological impact of psoriasis.
Yeah.
It affects
True.
people on so many levels.
It can be debilitating. I
very
think, for some
debilitating.
people.
Exactly.
It's painful at times.
And some people might feel very self-conscious because of that, so that can also impact how they connect with other people, how they build relationships. It's it's
particularly, and for me, who I'm an actor, I make my living generally. Well, I'm a voice artist, but I'm on camera from time to time, and when I get psoriasis in my eye, on the eyelids or up here, and I got to get a makeup lady to cover there's patches. It's it's embarrassing and it looks bad, and I can tell if sometimes I feel like I've lost opportunities in work and things because it's clear he's just got bad skin. So that on top of the pain factor and the inability to just eat freely, and it's not even like we said before. I'm not even eating junk. It's one thing if you're a fast food junkie and you're eating crap, and you're tremendously overweight, and you've got a lot of other health issues and stuff, and you can see the psoriasis. But someone like myself who's really trying. I mean, I'm really trying, people, to do the right things, and yet it's persisting.
I also would like to add, I mean, everybody who's listening will learn eventually that you are very particular when it comes to foods. I mean, your shopping list is it's perfection. We got to a level where we shop at 3-4 stores where we know where we get what from.
Right, and we get about 10 to 15 items out of each store.
Exactly. And Todd is very conscious about what oils to use with which foods. So he's very knowledgeable in that area. And he, like I said in the previous episode, I've never eaten better or healthier. And still, it's a problem. So I also think that once we get this resolved, sorting out the psoriasis, that's going to be one thing, but you're actually going to feel different in so many other aspects of your health. You're going to have so much more energy. So much more energy. The bacteria that produce butyrate, they're also directly involved in production of mitochondria. So if you've got low levels of those bacteria, the mitochondria do not get reproduced at a frequency that they're supposed to. Therefore, it affects your energy levels. It affects aging. So I think once that's sorted, we will just we will never be able to look back and be like, oh wow.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, with every improvement you and I are both making, and there's lots going on, including a new exercise regime and a lot of additional sort of changes. We didn't talk about that patch, by the way, last episode. You were wearing the patch.
Right.
I mentioned patches, it, but then we didn't talk about what it's doing. But the supplements and the breathing and the apps and it's always fine-tuning, always tweaking, always trying to up our game, improving our diet, improving our energy, exercise, our routines, the amount of sleep we get, stress levels, all of it. And I've felt, in the last 5 years plus that we've been together, we've been making lots of improvements over the months and years. I feel better. I know you feel better. Mm-hmm. There's been a lot of improvement. So I can only imagine if this thing, which is kind of one of the big hurdles, if we can manage this and get past it, from my perspective, then I can only imagine how much is it possible I could feel even better and have more energy?
Yeah.
Because I think when we met, I was low energy. I was bad shape. I was a sleepy fella. I couldn't walk around the block without from the smoking and all that stuff,
I think as you age, you get younger. You're getting younger with age. You're getting younger with age.
Younger with age. There you go. You heard it here first, folks. Both of us are, yeah. I think biologically, we're the same age now. If I were to, what?
Let's not get carried away, Todd.
Well, we'll let science decide. Okay. I promised you a surprise, but I might hold off till the next episode now, just because we've gotten pretty deep into this, and I don't know if I want to detract from all that we've discovered here together on Life Longevity Zone podcast.
You like to torture me.
Well, if I open this up now, then it's going to open up a whole kettle of fish, whole ball of worms,
okay,
a whole Pandora's box.
Right.
The genie is out of the bottle. You can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. You know what I'm saying?
All right. So fair enough.
It's gonna.
Fair enough.
We're gonna drop a bomb, and I think we've after this body blow that I just took around my poo and my guts. I don't know if I can handle it anymore.
How are you feeling, by the way, after hearing it for the first time?
Well, obviously we're going to sit down later and talk more and go through it. And I don't know. I'm a bit surprised. I thought, well, my first thoughts are I'm pleased that there are results like this available, right? Mm-hmm. That from that simple test, you can get so much information. And now we have a foundation from which to work. And I'm glad that we're going to go ahead and start working on it.
It's empowering, isn't it?
It's empowering. I would feel bad if I knew all that stuff, but didn't have what to do with it, right? Didn't have you, for example, with a program and a plan. Because it's great. You go, well, here's all your problems. You go, well, what are we going to do about it? And, you get the shoulder shrug that I used to get from the dermatologist. Well, here's some cream. Throw some ointment on it. No bueno. So I really appreciate the hard work you've done on this, and that you have spent a lot of time and thought about my bowels. The amount of time this woman spends thinking about my colon.
It's a fascinating area.
I mean, guys, listen. You may think your partner's something special, but until she's willing to get down there and get her hands into it, you know what I mean? And study it, you ain't got it. But you can get it, and I'll tell you how. Get on lifelongevity.zone. Check it out. You can talk to Justyna yourself. She's available for consultations. This is what we do over here. She's you can tell how good she is, and she's willing to talk to you and sort out any situation you might have and kind of complement any ailments that you might be going through and just give you some advice, signpost you in some directions, help you out with, even if you're talking to doctors and you're dealing with medical professionals, which you should, Justyna could be there to just give you a little bit more guidance and help you have that conversation that you might not be able to have with a doctor or medical professional and help point you in the right direction. So, join us, lifelongevity.zone. And anything else to say, my love?
Again, it was a great pleasure to be here and to communicate all of the information. And my goodness gracious, 2 months, 3 months.
2 months, 3 months.
That was a slow cooker for me.
Yeah.
That was a sort of plenty. That was a slow cooker.
Yeah. Cat is out of the bag. I won't say that. Okay. So stay tuned. We're going to give you more information about what's going on. We're going to reset the gut. Only here. Life Longevity Zone. Thanks for joining us. Woo!
Thank you.
And we'll see you next time. Stay healthy, everybody.
Stay well.
Stay well. Stay fit.
Take care of your gut.
And take care of your gut. Yeah. We'll see you next time. Woo! Life Longevity Zone.